This stuff's way too expensive. Let's say you've planned a 3-night backpacking trip. You spent a bunch of money on backpacking gear. You've got a backpacking stove. You're looking forward to having a hot meal at the end of the day. And then you see how much it costs to buy freeze-dried backpacking meals. So, 3-night trip. Figure a hot meal for breakfast and hot meal for dinner. Looking at 6 meals, and if you're lucky, maybe you can find some Mountain House for 12 bucks on sale. And if you get into better quality meals, you might be looking at 20 bucks a pop. And that could be well over $100 for a 3-night trip. And that's just one trip. So, you don't want to spend that kind of money, what do? Well, a lot of people go to the grocery store and find things like instant mashed potatoes, Knorr pasta sides, and those work. They're not expensive, but they're not particularly interesting. It's loaded with sodium. And if you've been planning this trip, you might want something a little more interesting. You don't have to be limited to expensive backpacking meals or boring pasta sides. In fact, you can pretty much eat whatever you want out there with just a little bit of work and very little money up front. It's possible to have meals you want to have out there that don't weigh a lot and don't cost a lot. And you can do that at home. And I'm going to show you what you need to get started. So, let's go inside. This is a food dehydrator, and if you're going to be making your own backpacking meals at home, this is going to be the core of your operation. Now, this particular model has temperature controls, it has timers, and it has 6 wire shelves. So, using this, I can dehydrate individual ingredients or entire meals. So if I want to make my own backpacking meals and not spend a bunch of money on freeze-dried meals, I can use this. Now, of course, compared to buying meals, there's a cost up front. But you can get started for well under $100 if you want to make your own dehydrated backpacking meals at home. And you can look online and find a lot of models for even under $50 brand new. If that's still outside of your price range, take a look at your local thrift stores. A recent trip for me found a couple of them for well under $20. And you're going to find these quite often at thrift stores. They're the kind of thing that people buy with good intentions of using, that sit in the garage for years, and eventually they just donate them, which is good news for you. If that's still too much, you can actually use your oven on the lowest setting. And for most ovens, that lowest temperature is usually between 140 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 to 65 degrees Celsius for those of you not in the United States. One caveat to using an oven instead of a dedicated dehydrator is that heat is not the only thing that's dehydrating your food. The dehydrator is actually also removing moisture. It has dedicated fans for that, and it is the most efficient. So if you are going to use your oven to dehydrate your own backpacking meals, you're going to need to prop that door open to let the moisture release. And it's also going to take longer. So using the oven is not optimal, but if you don't want to invest in a food dehydrator, you can still dehydrate your own food. Now, different foods take more or less time to dehydrate, and you can dehydrate those ingredients individually, or you can prepare an entire meal that you want to eat in the backcountry and dehydrate the entire meal in your dehydrator. There are different recommendations for heat and length of time for dehydrating different vegetables, fruits, meats. And we're not going to go into those specifics in this video, but I do intend to have several more videos regarding making your own backpacking meals, and we'll talk about that then. But today I really just want to talk about what you need to have to get started making your own meals to take out there. So the foundation of that is going to be some kind of a dehydrator. And you can spend anywhere from $30 to $200 for a new dehydrator. Or as I said, you can go to a thrift store, a yard sale, look on eBay. You're going to find some pretty great deals. So maybe or maybe not, your food dehydrator will come with some silicone sheets. So great thing about silicone, withstands high heat, it's pliable, and of course it's going to keep all of those liquids in there as they dehydrate. So if I was making something like a soup and wanted to take that backpacking, but I wanted to dehydrate it, something like this would be a great addition. And this is going to fit right on those trays of my dehydrator. So if I'm not using something like a soup or a chili, using those wire racks is going to be the most efficient because those things are going to dehydrate faster. You can also get sheets like this. Now these, for the most part, are going to keep the moisture on top, not going to go through, but they still let air circulate because they have these tiny holes. But because of surface tension, your chili's not going to just drip through this. Also great for making things like fruit leathers. For this generation, we think of fruit by the foot. And you can make that at home as well. And if you guys are interested in how to do that, we can do a dedicated video on that one. But a lot of times these are going to come with a dehydrator if you buy a new one. And if not, you can get these online. And they're not terribly expensive. If you don't want to invest any more money and your dehydrator doesn't come with those little silicone mats, you can also use parchment paper. This is going to be way less expensive. You can find it everywhere, and it works just as well. Like silicone, parchment paper is made to withstand the heat. So, pull out a strip, you're good to go. You're also going to need some utensils, things to spread those things out if you, again, are trying to dehydrate a soup or a chili or something like that. So something like this is going to work just fine for you. You probably already have something laying around the kitchen that's going to work for you. So as far as being able to put the food in a dehydrator, that's really all you're going to need. But once it's dehydrated, what do you do with it? Maybe you have a vacuum sealer. Now, these were all the rage at one point, and they're very popular with hunters, and they work great for storing meals long-term in the freezer. And they work just as well for dehydrated meals. And the great thing about these is they're pretty heavy duty, the bags that you seal in them. They take all of the air out, so they make the foods last even longer. Now, if you want to invest in one of these, that's great. These are going to work fine. It's helpful to have a knife with you if you're going backpacking and taking meals that are sealed. But these are definitely helpful. If you dehydrate your meals and you're not going out right away, it's going to help them last even longer, especially if you put them in the freezer. One issue with these, though, is they can be pretty expensive, as well as the rolls and the bags that go with them. So a vacuum sealer is absolutely going to be your most expensive option as far as storing that food before you take it out and eat it. The least expensive option is going to be freezer bags. So I imagine you already have these in your kitchen, and you can buy them everywhere, and they're not terribly expensive. Make sure you get freezer bags, not storage bags. Freezer bags are going to hold up better. They're thicker, and you can put boiling water in these. So if you dehydrate a meal and you're going out, you can put them in here, pour the water right in there, rehydrate your meal, you're good to go. Now, these are not best for long-term storage, but if you're dehydrating meals and going out next weekend, these are perfectly fine. But if you really catch the bug and get serious about dehydrating your own backpacking meals, you can dehydrate those meals and you can seal them in Mylar bags. And these are exactly what your freeze-dried meals come in. You can buy these in bulk. They don't let light in, they're heavy duty, and once they're sealed, you can store these for a very, very, very long time. Now, the ones I have, like I said, just like your freeze-dried meals, these have a notch on top, so you can tear them open, and then they have a zipper along here, so after you pour your water in, zip it closed, keep that heat in, rehydrate it just like you would a mountain house. Now, these are more expensive than freezer bags, absolutely, but they're kind of fun. And if you're making a lot of meals or you want to store them for a very long time, these are going to be a great option for you. Now, you're not just going to pick these up at any grocery store. Some places that have bulk foods may sell these. I personally got these at a place called the Epicenter, which has a lot of freeze-dried meals, survival stuff, things like that. So if you have a hard time finding these, but you want them, go to epicenter.com. They're in Eugene, Oregon, and they will ship these to you. So if you're storing your dehydrated meals in a freezer bag, keep them in a cool, dry place. They're usually safest from 3 to 6 weeks. Beyond that, just know they're not going to last like a freeze-dried meal is, which stored correctly, those can last 30, 40 years. Now, of course, you can buy a freeze dryer, but I'm not willing to invest in that, so I'm not going to tell you how to freeze dry your own meals. That's going to be a video somewhere else on someone else's channel. But just know, again, if you're spending even as little as $10 for freeze-dried meals, it's not going to take very long going backpacking before you've spent as much as it would cost to buy your own dehydrator, especially a nice, inexpensive entry-level model. And if you want to make plenty of meals and store them for a long time, you can store them in the freezer or just a cool, dark place. Know that a vacuum sealer is going to help those things last longer, and the Mylar bags even longer than that. And if you really want them to last, those little oxygen absorber packets that are in all of your freeze-dried meals, you can buy those as well. Epicenter also sells those, but you can get those at a lot of grocery stores that sell the bulk foods, like I said. And that's really all you need to get started. Obviously, if you're cooking full meals, you're going to need pots and pans. But if you have a home and a kitchen, I'm assuming you have those already. And if not, go to your local Goodwill. Maybe you'll pick up a dehydrator and all the pots and pans you need. So I intend this to be just the beginning of a series of videos, because I can tell you what you need to get started, but it's not a lot of fun to have to figure it out all on your own. So coming up in the series, we will talk about how to dehydrate different foods, meats, how to prepare those, and how to get the best results. And then going forward, I want to share a few recipes that are pretty good, pretty common, and are going to make you glad that you stopped spending 15 bucks for biscuits and gravy. So I want to thank you guys for coming along, and I will see you soon.